Hello everyone. Real quick, I wanted to just jump on here before the beginning of the video. I am currently editing a lot of these clips and I wanted to let you know two things. First thing, there is a lot of edits in this video. I had a lot of moments that I had to kind of regain composure, so you're gonna see a lot of rough cuts of me just trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. And second thing, this is my trigger warning here. This is a discussion on mental health, depression, anxiety. So there is mention of suicidal ideations, suicidal tendencies, medications. If you have any issues with any of those topics, please do not watch this video or watch it at a later time when you feel you are more ready. Last thing I want to say is this is the suicidal hotline, and if you ever feel the need to self-harm or any issues with suicide, please call that number if you just need someone to talk to. There is absolutely no shame in talking to someone when you need to. You are more than welcome to shoot me a message on Instagram if you just need to chat, and I will try to get to messages when I can. And without further ado, here's the rest of the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay. If you're new here, hello. Welcome. Today's video is not exciting for me, to say the least, but we're going to talk about it because I feel like I constantly say that, you know, I'm an advocate for mental health and I want there to be a discussion, and I keep saying that I'm going to make a video about my mental health and I just haven't. So today is the freaking day. I'm a little snotty because I've already cried a few times this morning, which is great. My makeup is done though, so I don't want to cry. This is not waterproof mascara. I decided to put on my comfy... Oh, child. Okay. Hello. Yep, you're here. I got a blanket and my little sweater on to make it a little cozier and hopefully make myself feel a little bit better. Today has just been a little bit rough, so I figured today is a good day to talk about it, as good as ever. I feel like every day that I choose to record something for a video about mental health, something happens and it all goes downhill and then I don't want to talk about it. But I figured today's the day. If I'm gonna walk the walk, I need to talk the talk and have a discussion with you guys. I'm gonna try really hard not to cry because I want to get my point across without getting overly emotional. I am a Cancer, so I get emotional about everything. Back in 2016, I received my diagnosis of depression while I was staying at a hospital in Tennessee. After a very bad experience with Prozac, there is a reason your doctors tell you that if you start experiencing any sort of suicidal tendencies or ideations, you need to quit the medication. There's a reason for that. So I ended up in the hospital for a while. For me, it's very important to say that that is my official diagnosis, and I have not diagnosed myself with anything. I do believe I have some issues with anxiety, but I haven't received an official diagnosis of anxiety, nor have I ever received any sort of diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, bipolar, anything other than that, while that has been discussed with therapists in the past. In the past, I've been on a couple different medications, one of which was obviously Prozac, which did not go over well. I was on Celexa while I was in the hospital, and for a little bit after that, I didn't feel like Celexa did a whole lot for me. I just didn't see a whole lot of changes. I was on Wellbutrin for a while I was in Washington State. Ended up getting off of Wellbutrin to take vitamin D supplements, which is something that I stopped taking for a while when we moved back down to California, and now I'm back to taking 4 tablets of vitamin D every day. Everyone talks about postpartum depression because it is a big deal, and I'm not trying to downplay anything when it comes to mental health, but I think a lot of people forget to discuss antepartum depression. I think that's how you pronounce it, and I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm thinking of. It's depression that happens while you are still pregnant. For Garrett and I think both of us anticipated that there was going to be some sort of mental health issue while I was pregnant. I think that was something that was a huge part of our discussion when we first were talking about having kids together. Is for a while I didn't want to have kids, knowing that I could potentially pass on my own mental health issues to our children or have to deal with some pretty traumatic mental health issues while pregnant or postpartum, etc., etc. All in all, we obviously came to the decision that we would work through it and everything would be fine. But I didn't expect for my mental health to take such a nosedive, especially when everyone talks about the physical aspects of being pregnant. You know, I didn't experience the morning sickness in my first trimester, so my anxiety went through the roof. I couldn't do anything without thinking that I would cause an issue for my child, or that my child wasn't there anymore because I wasn't feeling any symptoms. I wasn't expecting to fall so far back into depression to the extent of suicidal ideations while pregnant, which is very, very, very scary. I don't think I've felt to this extent in a long time of just how bad I've been feeling. And I don't want to go into too much detail, first of all, because I don't want to cry. But a lot of this discussion can be very triggering, and so I want to be careful about how I'm speaking about it. And sometimes I feel like some of that stuff is within my control, and some of it is not. Some of it is caused by certain triggers. There's other times that I wake up in the morning and just kind of feel off, and not that I expect it to be a bad day, but I just feel off. And so I'll try to stay motivated and just keep moving, which I think is how today turned into kind of a shit show for me. My day started fine. I feel like I slept okay. I think I could have slept longer, but I felt like I slept okay. And then I started trying to get things done around the house, and I lost it a little bit. And I got really frustrated over the fact that a to-do list that I had written out for Garrett for the weekend so that I could focus on getting some editing and videos put out, it didn't get done to the extent that I expected it to, which in some ways I was understanding, but then this morning it hit me really hard that so if I even ask for things to be done, they still won't get done, and it all falls on me. And I'm going to say all of this and go into a little bit more about what I've been feeling about it, because there's a lot of other feelings involved. And I want to make it very clear that I am incredibly grateful for the work that Garrett does and how he provides for us as a family. I am so grateful for everything that man does. Garrett is a wonderful and amazing husband, and I am so, so, so grateful for him as a person and everything he does for the both of us. I'm not gonna cry. So as far as how I have been feeling about things, like I said, I'm so, so grateful for everything that Garrett does. And when I say that, like, my to-do list that I requested to be done wasn't done all the way, there were like 3 or 4 things that didn't get done on a big list of things. So he still 100% worked his butt off, and I appreciate everything that he did do. But it gets hard when I do feel like a lot of the stuff with the house falls on me. And it's not like Garrett expects that of me, it's that I expect that of myself. So when those standards aren't met, it really bothers me. I place a lot of the value and worth of myself in the work that I do. And because I haven't been working a consistent part or full-time job, I am having a very hard time seeing the value that I have as a mostly stay-at-home wife at this point. So I get frustrated with myself a lot of the time if I can't keep up on everything that I feel needs to be done and to the standard that I feel it needs to be done. And I think because of the value that I place so much, the value and worth of the dollar that is brought into the house, I have a hard time understanding that the work that I do at home is valued just as much as the work that I do outside of the home or the work that Garrett does. I have a very hard time understanding that and acknowledging that I am doing enough. I think a lot of the times this guilt that I feel about how much is being done around the house is because of this value and worth that I see in myself, and that I see my husband as doing more because he's bringing home dollars. As much as I acknowledge that doing the work that I do around the house is still work that would need to be done whether or not I was working a consistent job, it still feels to me like I'm not doing enough for my husband to just support us and our child. So I applied for a job today, and I didn't realize how anxiety-inducing that could be, especially knowing that this position that I applied for is a full-time position, which is not something that I have been looking for a long time. I have been looking for something that's part-time so that I can still feel like I can maintain things around the house and keep up with YouTube videos, because that is something that I genuinely enjoy and I want to see progress from. So I want to make sure that I have the time between a regular job and home life to still be able to do YouTube, to clean the house, to maintain the property, and then to spend time with my family. I feel like it's just going to get more and more difficult to maintain that time and keeping that as a priority. And when Garrett came home on his lunch today and asked me what was going on, what was wrong, because it's obvious something was wrong. And during the discussion, it came out that, oh, I don't have a choice when it comes to getting this job. Even though I 100% do. It's not like I am required to have this position, but my brain is saying to get this job, to not feel guilty. But in getting this job, things are going to fall apart here. So it's this battle back and forth in my mind of constantly trying to figure out what the best option is and never coming up with an answer, because there's always something wrong with every single situation that my mind puts out, if this is making any sense. And because so much of the housework falls on me, I feel very guilty for ever asking Garrett to help or confronting him about anything that I disagree with, because this is my job as of right now. My job is keeping up on the housework so that he doesn't have to be worried about that. My job is maintaining our child while our child is still growing. And in the future, that's likely how it's going to be, is that I will be home to take care of baby. And I will be home to take care of housework, which the housework itself isn't an issue. I really don't mind cleaning. I actually really enjoy it. It comes down to the fact that I don't get a break. The other thing I feel incredibly guilty for is my suicidal ideations. I have been struggling a lot more than I anticipated, and I feel incredibly guilty for it, because guilty and frustrated by it, because honestly, I am very blessed in this life. I have an amazing relationship. We own a house, which in today's day and age, that is just incredible in its own. I have wonderful animals. I have a freaking horse who is expensive. I have a great relationship with not only my family, but Garrett's family. We are incredibly blessed to be where we are, especially with a little one on the way. And I feel so guilty for just wanting to get away from it all. Just everything, just wanting it to be over. It sucks to feel that way. It just is horrible. Hi, Silence! As of recently, my biggest issue, or my worst mental health day, I guess you could call it, I was feeling incredibly trash. This was a few weeks ago, but I was feeling just like I was worthless, and anything I did was not good enough and is never going to be good enough. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, I just need to get through this pregnancy and then we'll go from there. And again, I don't want to go into detail because it's not only potentially traumatic for other people, but it is a little bit traumatic for me, knowing that like this is where my head is at as of late. Pull it together! But it hurts really, really bad for me to have wanted this child for so long, and wanted to live this life that is just incredible and I'm so grateful for. And then to just turn around and feel like it isn't worth this battle. It's not worth this fight. And I'm very tired of it. And I think that's what a lot of it comes down to a lot of times, is how tired I am, which is when I know I need to sleep. A lot of it comes down to the fact that I'm just tired, whether it's physically or emotionally or mentally. I'm drained, and I'm a little bit anxious for postpartum because I just don't know how much worse this is going to get, and if I'm already at this level of suicidal ideation and I am not even post-pregnancy, I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle it. As of what I am doing right now to take care of myself the best that I can, so as of how I've been handling my mental health, sometimes I feel like I have a handle on it, and other times I really don't. And I think that's how most of us feel when it comes to mental health, is sometimes you can have a hold on it, and other times it holds you, and you just gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other. So as best I can, I try to have that healthy conversation with my husband as much as I can. There are times that I feel like I can't talk about it, and for the most part, he's understanding of those moments where I just feel like I can't have this discussion right now. But I do try to let him know when I'm feeling better, or when I am feeling at my deepest, darkest moments and it ends up in a blow up fight, that's when we have a discussion like, I'm not doing well, and this is how I've been feeling, and this is how I'm struggling. One of my biggest issues is recognizing when it's time to take a break and step back, because it's very hard for me to take a break. Again, because I'm placing the value in myself on the time that I spend doing things productively and not on times that I take for my own self-care. I think that's something that I'm going to struggle with probably for the rest of my life, is understanding when to take a break and when to chill, and that it's okay to take a break. Because a lot of times, even if I take a day to take that break, the next day I feel incredibly guilty for it. And even days on the weekends, it's hard for me to not want to clean the house for hours and then sit down and do nothing, even if it's just playing a video game or watching a Netflix show. It's difficult for me to not feel guilty for needing the couple of hours to recover. So that's something I'm still working on, and I think I will continue to need to work on for the rest of my life, because that's just me as a person. I think to kind of close out this video, I don't really have a full conclusion for you guys. Right now, I'm processing my emotions, and I'm sorry this video isn't like ending on a happier note. This is my cat. Okay, are we better? Are we situated? Are we good? You've just been crying this whole time. You've been crying. I know, me too. So, I wish that I could end this video on a happier note, and I just think this needs to be more of a discussion. And even though I have a very, very small channel, I think it helps the more people reach out and talk about mental health and what we go through, especially women dealing with mental health issues while pregnant, because that's really something that I just feel like not a whole lot of people talk about. So I wanted to be a part of the conversation, and unfortunately that means there's not really a conclusion. There's not a, wow, my life is great and my brain is fine, but we're gonna work through it. You know what does fix it though? Just get cats. Cats fix all the problems. Yes, you do. Because there's not really a conclusion to this video, I don't really know how to end this. I hope that me speaking my truth about my mental health and a little bit of my history gives you guys some peace and maybe some comfort, knowing that there's other people going through what you might be going through. And again, I'm so grateful to the people in my life that I have around me, because they are an amazing support system. So thank you to every single one of you that has ever reached out about anything to do with mental health, or just sent a nice message or anything. I do so appreciate it, more than you know. And hopefully next week's video will be something more fun, because this was not fun. But it's definitely getting darker again, so we're gonna call it here. And Silas is getting good pets now. He's quiet because he's getting attention. So we're gonna go hang out for a while, maybe. All right, that is it for me. And If you guys have any comments you want to share down below, feel free to leave your story, and maybe we can create a little mini support system here on YouTube. So feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye, guys. All right, come on, let's go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get down. That took a lot of effort.